What's up, everybody? This is your boy Kerwin Stewart. I'm here again today with another exciting video, and on today's video we're gonna go through the ranks of being in the Army. But for this video we're gonna focus on the enlisted rank, exactly because I know about them and I'm actually in the enlisted ranks, so I can give you my expert knowledge on exactly what they are. So now, the first rank is E1. E1 is actually a private, and you will be preferred as a private in the rank of E1. So basically E1 is a rank given to you straight from the jump. As soon as you arrive to basic training, you are referred to as a private, and you will be referred to that until either you move to the next rank or you finish up your AIT, where you will be moved on to the next rank of an E2. Now an E2 is also a private, but the rank insignia that they give is called the mosquito wings. Basically just two little chevrons. Actually, yes, two little wings basically that you wear on your chest like I do. But I'll explain my rank a little bit later on. Now, you get that E2 rank at 6 months time in service in the Army. Now, E2, basically for me, as an E2, I was given the rank as an E2 as soon as I graduated from AIT, which is called my Advanced Individual Training, and it's basically my school where I go to learn the job that I have as a 92 Fox, a petroleum supply specialist in the United States Army. Now, after 6 months of getting an E2, I was given the rank of a PFC. Now, a PFC is a private first class, and from E1 to E3, you're referred to as private, or if you're in the E3 as a private first class, they may call you PFC. So when I was a PFC, I was referred to as PFC Steward. And when I was an E1 to E2, I was referred to as private steward. Now, fast forward about 18 months or so, I got promoted to the rank of specialist. And my title also changed along with that. I was then referred to as a specialist. So you can get the specialist at the rank of 18, at the time of 18 months or 24 months, which is 2 years of being in the Army. Next up is a rank that I currently wear right now. It's called Sergeant. So right now I'm referred to as Sergeant Steward in the United States Army, and basically it's the first rank of a non-commissioned officer in the Army. So I am a non-commissioned officer, and when you refer to me, or anyone who refers to me, they call me Sergeant or Sergeant Steward. Now, as a sergeant, my job entails being a team leader or a squad leader. So I will be in charge about anywhere from 1 to 10 soldiers, and it's my job to lead them, make sure that they have everything that they need, and make sure that they're squared away, and basically they take all directions from me. And that's your first journey in the Army really, as a non-commissioned officer, gaining that leadership role, even though you gain it from day one as becoming a leader, basically, because everybody's a leader from day one in the Army, but you are now responsible for your actions. So I am, as a non-commissioned officer, responsible for my actions and the things that I say and the things that I do for my soldiers or to my soldiers in general, you can say. So after I'm done with this rank, I will then be promoted to the next rank, which is a staff sergeant. The staff sergeant is also referred to as sergeant. And basically the role of a staff sergeant will also be a section leader, and they are basically in charge of multiple squads. So for my company, there are 3 team leaders, and we have a section sergeant who we report to. That section sergeant is in charge of everybody and overall. So if I need to get something done, or I get information, most likely it's coming from my section sergeant, and my section sergeant is then giving me and tasking me with the authority to pass it out through my squad, and all the squad or team leaders have to do that also. So the thing about the ranks is, as you move up in the rank, you get more authority, or you get more responsibility also with getting that authority as a non-commissioned officer in the United States Army. Next up after a staff sergeant, which will be an E7, And an E7 is either a platoon sergeant, or they can serve in a first sergeant position. Now an E7 is called a senior non-commissioned officer. They enter the rank of being senior to anyone from E1 to E6. So E7 is a platoon sergeant, and they're the platoon daddy. So they're in charge of the whole group. So my platoon sergeant back in the day had 60 soldiers, and he didn't really have direct dealings with us, but he was the one talking to our platoon leader, and he would then pass it down the chain, and which will eventually become to me when I was just a private. So basically the platoon sergeant works hand in hand with the officers that are assigned to the company in getting things done and carried out. So that's an E7. Next up will be a master sergeant. Now the thing about a master sergeant, you are also a senior enlisted non-commissioned officer, but the thing about it is that now you can either be in charge of a company, and as soon as you become in charge of a company, you are referred to as a first sergeant. So E8 can be a master sergeant or a first sergeant, and that first sergeant is called the commander of troops. So the first sergeant is in charge of a company of close to 200 people sometimes, or even less than that. But the first sergeant is normally in charge of a large group of people, and they work hand in hand with the company commander to carry out tasks and dictate things that need to be done. The first sergeant, you fear the first sergeant because the first sergeant is the top dog in your company or unit. So we refer to the first sergeant as top, because they're basically an E9, and they're the most senior enlisted member in our company. So everything goes to them, or goes through them before it hits any other rank in the company. All right. So next up is an E9. Now an E9 is a sergeant major. All right. So sergeant major is in charge of either a section, a shop, or it can also be in charge of a battalion. So sergeant major is the most senior enlisted member in a chain of command. They don't normally fall into, well, you could say that they're a part of the chain of command, but their job is not really dealing with the soldiers head on. They talk to the other higher up officers, which can be a battalion commander or a brigade commander. But their job as a sergeant major can be to advise every other company that may be in their control. So a sergeant major can be in charge of up to 1,000 personnel at one time, and their job is just to advise, train, lead, all from being the right-hand man of a battalion commander. Now that's really a job of a command sergeant major, but any sergeant major, as long as you're in charge of a battalion, you become a command sergeant major. But a sergeant major is just in charge of like an S1 shop and things of that nature. Now, there's also one other sergeant major position, which is the sergeant major of the Army. Now, this current sergeant major of the Army is Sergeant Major Dan Daly. He's like the 36th Command Sergeant Major of the Army, and he's the top enlisted advisor in the whole entire Army. So he works along with the Chief of Staff, and that's what he does. He, keeps everybody in check and makes sure he sets up policies that affect me at the lower level to over 1 million soldiers in general. So this is an organization that's large, and there's a lot of people in it. There's a lot of ranks, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes along with that rank. I'm in the middle. I'm an E5 right now. I've always told myself, hey, I'm E1. I was an E1. I'm an E5 now. I still got about 4 more levels to go before I become a sergeant major. But being in the Army and making up through the ranks in 3 years, I worked my butt off for this rank. And as long as I keep on doing what I need to do, I'm going to keep on moving up. And that's how the Army works. As long as you're doing the right thing and being at the right place at the right time, you will move up with no problem whatsoever. You just got to be on your P's and Q's and know yourself in and out and know your job. So, I mean, that's it. It's really easy, you know, to move up as long as you go to school, you learn, and you do what you need to do. But this is just a general understanding of exactly what enlisted personnel go through. Now, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to comment down below, and I'll answer them as best as I can. So the question for today is, what do you think about the enlisted ranks? And what's your rank that you're attaining to get to? I know mine, I'll let you know, is to be a command sergeant major. But I still got about like 16 more years to go before that happens. But let me know what you think. All right, guys, I am Kermit Stewart. I thank you guys very, very much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you think about me explaining the ranks to you. I know it's just a vague understanding, but hopefully it was understanding or entertaining to you, that you could understand it, and to get a brass understanding of what exactly it is. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Please be safe out there. Peace.